Did you ever think you'd feel sympathy for the Penguin? Well, episode 3 of The Penguin just hit us with a gut punch that makes you question everything. Betrayal, heartbreak, and a plan to flood Gotham's streets with a drug straight out of Arkham Asylum. This episode pulls no punches. And believe me, what happens to Victor will leave you questioning who's really in control here. Let's dive in. Welcome back, Gothamites. If you thought the first 2 episodes of The Penguin had you on the edge of your seat, episode 3, titled Bliss, just took everything to a whole new level. We're going to break down all the twists, the tension, and the monumental character moments in today's recap. We've got betrayal, drug deals, unholy alliances, and some serious emotional gut punches to unpack. And let's be real, this episode gave us a lot. Between Oz, Sofia, and Victor, it feels like the noose is tightening around everyone's neck. So buckle up, because this recap is going to get deep as we dive into the murky waters of Gotham's criminal underworld. Victor's tragic backstory. Right from the opening, episode 3 hits us hard with a flashback to the night that changed everything for Gotham. But this time, it's not about the caped crusader or the Penguin, it's about Victor Aguilar. Remember Victor? Oz's young protege who seemed oddly loyal to a criminal like Oswald Cobblepot? Well, we finally get the full picture as to why. Victor's trying to balance being a normal teenager, meeting up with his friends, sneaking in a sweet moment with his crush, Graciela. But before he can join her on the rooftop, he stops by his family's apartment. We get this quiet, poignant scene with Victor and his dad, who's struggling to provide for the family. It's heartbreaking. Victor's trying to convince his father to take on more work, to strive for something better. But we see the weight of the world on his dad's shoulders, a man beaten down by Gotham's unforgiving streets. Then boom! The Riddler's bombs go off. The flood that consumes Gotham is more than just physical, it's emotional devastation for Victor. His family, his home, everything he's ever known is washed away in an instant. That's the trauma that's been haunting him. The reason why he's so desperate to find purpose, even if that means working with Oz. It's no wonder Victor sticks around, despite knowing deep down that Oz is trouble. The boy's lost everything, and Oz is the only one giving him a sense of belonging, no matter how toxic that relationship might be. Oz and Sofia, an unholy alliance. Now let's switch gears and talk about the shaky alliance between Oswald Cobblepot and Sofia Falcone. These 2 characters have one thing in common: ambition. But their paths to power couldn't be more different. Sofia, played brilliantly by Kristen Milioti, is ruthless, calculating, and unpredictable. Oz? He's equally ambitious, but he's always been more of a survivor, adapting to the chaos around him. Episode 3 turns up the heat as Oz and Sofia try to pull off a drug operation that could change the entire power dynamic in Gotham. They're working together to distribute a new drug, ominously named Bliss, made from spores collected in Arkham Asylum. I mean, just the idea of mushrooms from Arkham being turned into a street drug? That's some next-level Gotham weirdness, and I am here for it. But here's where things get really interesting. Oz thinks he's got everything under control, believing Sofia is his partner in crime. But Sofia is playing a long game. She knows more than she's letting on. There's a subtle moment where she tells Oz, "I know you did," when he expresses surprise about the drug operation being connected to Arkham. It's chilling. You can tell that Sofia is always 2 steps ahead, and Oz is starting to realize he might be in over his head. And it's in these small moments, these unspoken threats, these vague responses, that we start to see the cracks in their alliance. You can't help but wonder, how long until this partnership blows up in their faces? The emotional core, Victor and Graciela's crossroads. Victor's internal struggle is really the emotional core of this episode. After that devastating flashback, we see him try to reconnect with Graciela, the girl he was with just before his world fell apart. There's something so human about their interactions. Graciela has no idea that Victor's wrapped up in Gotham's criminal underworld. To her, He's just a guy trying to get by, working for a club owner. She wants to escape Gotham, to run away to California and start fresh. And for a moment, Victor considers it. He wants to go with her, but deep down, he knows it's not that simple. He's in too deep with Oz, and when he finally admits that he's afraid for his life, we see just how trapped he feels. Victor's got a choice: leave Gotham and try to find peace, or stay with Oz and embrace a life of crime. It's heartbreaking because we, the audience, want him to leave. We want him to find happiness with Graciela. But you can see the weight of his decision, and you just know that this isn't going to end well. The Triad deal: high stakes, higher tension. Meanwhile, while Victor's dealing with his personal demons, Oz and Sofia are busy playing a dangerous game with the Triad. Their plan? Bribe the Triad into helping them take over the Falcone crime family. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the tension in these scenes is palpable. There's a moment where Sofia's gun is confiscated as they walk into the Triad's club, and you just know things could go south at any second. Oz does his best to talk their way into a deal, introducing Bliss to Linked Psy, but it's clear that the Triad doesn't fully trust them. And when Link demands confirmation from Viti, it's clear that Oz and Sofia are walking on a razor's edge. This is the kind of high-stakes negotiation that Gotham thrives on. One wrong move and it's game over. But what's even more fascinating is how Oz and Sofia are playing off each other. There's this push and pull between them. One moment, they're in sync. The next, they're barely keeping it together. It's like watching a house of cards, just waiting for one gust of wind to knock it all down. Victor's breaking point: a tense confrontation. Now here's where things really start to unravel. Victor, after trying to keep his head down and do his job, starts to crack under the pressure. The lights, the noise, the memories of the flood, it all hits him at once, and we see him spiral into a full-blown panic attack in the club's bathroom. And just when he's about to pull himself together, who walks in? Oz. And what does Oz find? Victor's phone, lit up with texts from Graciela. This is where Oz's paranoia kicks into high gear. He berates Victor, accusing him of thinking he's too good for the life of crime. And in a terrifying moment, Oz pulls out a gun and presses it to Victor's head. This isn't just a test of loyalty, it's a power play. Oz is reminding Victor that he controls his fate. And even though he lets Victor go in the end, the emotional damage has already been done. Victor's decision to stay in Gotham, to stay with Oz, is no longer about loyalty, it's about survival. The road to ruin. And then, just when you think things can't get any worse, Nadia Maroney and her men show up. The tension snaps as Oz and Sofia are held at gunpoint. It seems like this might be the end for our favorite penguin, but who comes to the rescue? Victor. In a dramatic twist, Victor drives his car straight into the scene, taking out Nadia's men and saving Oz's life. But this isn't a happy ending. Because in saving Oz, Victor seals his fate. He's chosen his path, and it's one of violence, betrayal, and crime. The final shot of the episode, Victor watching Graciela's bus leave without him. It's a moment of pure tragedy. He had a chance to escape, to find peace. But now, he's lost everything. Episode 3 of The Penguin leaves us with more questions than answers. How long can Victor survive in Oz's world? Will Sofia betray Oz, or is she already pulling the strings behind the scenes? And how will Gotham react to the rise of Bliss? One thing's for sure, this isn't going to end well for anyone. So make sure to subscribe, because we'll be back next week to break down all the chaos of Episode 4. Trust me, things are about to get even darker in Gotham.